You got the 566s. All right, hang on here. No, those 561s. Give me a second. I'll get this fired back up. You guys said you didn't use the locking devices, right?
Locking devices meaning the little trigger pieces on the front of the drawers, the loose pieces.
I think that's what they are. Hang on a second here.
If it's the orange trigger pieces, then yeah, we use them. We attach them to the drawer box.
You don't use the crossbars, correct?
No, I think you're talking about the stabilizer pieces. No.
For wide drawers. You're talking about the rack and pinion system?
Yeah, the rack and pinion system. Are you using the front?
We use that only for extra wide drawers, unique situations.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to go down to the tandem plus full extension folder down there.
Oh.
Yeah, and 2, 5, 6.
I'm sorry, where are the connectors? I am on the connector set.
We're in the connector set. We went to the main connector. We're going to pick the correct slide here. Rudy, so you want to go up here on a 510, you want to go up to 260.
What's that again?
Your mouse is hovering over this 510. You want to go up to this 260.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually 2 of them. Get the second one there, I believe. All right, go ahead and apply that. Yep, apply that. All right, so that's going to be our main connector. We want to get rid of in the accessories, we want to get rid of those 2 locking devices. And that last thing, whatever the heck that is, I don't even know what that is. You just want the front connection. Let me see if that's the right connection. 1829151. Yep, that's the right one. All right, go ahead and save that. All right, go down to your next one there. And go pick that main connector. Nope, it's not going to be in that folder. Just go ahead and hit the ellipsis there. It's okay. Remember, the drop downs are recently used, so if you haven't used it, it won't be in the drop downs.
Okay.
And you're going to want the 310, the second one.
Larry, I need to stop right here.
Why don't we start from the beginning?
Larry.
We could all.
Go ahead, I hear you.
What? Line what? Line what?
Excuse me, Larry.
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
It's Robert speaking. Can we start over? Basically, when we chose our very first slide, we chose the 9-inch tandem slide, and under connector, we are going to ellipsis.
We're going to hit the ellipsis for the main connector.
Okay, and I am under connectors.
Okay.
And from what top? That tandem plus full extension?
Tandem plus full extension.
Okay.
And about halfway down, it's PL, CST, 260, FE, blah, blah, that one. There are actually two 260s. We want the second one.
Okay, got it.
Okay, you're going to apply that.
And we're not renaming it.
We're not renaming it for now. We're just going to pick it.
Okay, so just apply it.
Just apply it. Yeah, we'll come in and rename it later. All right, and then you want to get rid of all the accessories except for the front connection.
I simply X out on it.
Yep.
You got that?
Okay, I have the accessories, just the front.
All right. Just save that, and we're going to go to the 12. We're going to go to the 12-inch now.
Thank you.
No worries. So same thing on the 12-inch. We're going to go to the main connector. Same folder, and we're going to pick the second 310. Okay, apply that and get rid of everything but the front connection on the accessories. Okay. Save it, next one down. Yeah, you got to open the other folder there, Rudy. Tandem plus full extension. Go down further, down below the two long names there. And we want 385, the second one. Okay, same thing with the 18 and the 21. This is going to be the 460, second one. $535, the second one.
$535 is for the 21-inch, right?
The 21-inch is going to be called 535. Rudy's got the right one selected there. Everybody good on that?
Yep.
All right, Rudy, let me see your connection situation. It's in on the far left under the structure, construction principle, connections, connection situation. You didn't create one here. So let's pick that concealed bottom mount. And I'm just going to rename this for, it's going to be your F3 tandem, green motion, blah, blah, whatever you're going to call it. What did you call it, Ray? Do you remember?
Ray, what do you call it? Yeah, what do you call the connection situation? Locator?
No. This is for the drawers.
No? What do you want to call it?
You called it bloom. I don't remember something.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, you can call it whatever you want to. It's just a reference. As long as you know what it is.
Yeah. That's good?
That's good. All right, I want you to go down and open up the attributes on this connection situation. And under additional filter 1, we want to give this a unique custom attribute. Whatever we put in here, we're going to put in on the connector sets also. What did we put here, Ray?
Remember what you put there? No. You don't remember.
All right, so let's just go. You can give it the same name, or just call it Bloom Tandem or something like that. Anything custom will be fine. All right, save that and then copy that to clipboard so we'll have it. All right, go back to your connector sets. We're going to put that in additional filter 1 on all the connector sets so they match up. That's under hardware machinings, connector sets.
Yeah.
Yep, right there, put it right there. It's an additional filter 1. So what this does is we run this connection situation. It's going to come and look in this folder under floor guide. Well, there's a bunch of stuff in here, and we want it to find hours. So we're giving it a custom filter. I think you had a space in there between Bloom and Tandem. Did you not copy the clipboard?
No, I didn't put a space.
You didn't put a space? Okay.
No, just how it was.
So when the program looks and says, okay, we're using this connection situation and sees that filter, it will go look in this folder under floor guide and only use the ones that have the same filter on it. So let's put it on all of your connector sets there. All right, so let's start with the 9-inch. We're going to look at the attribute called drawer depth. This refers to the amount of space available front to back on the box to use the slide. So what would be the minimum space that you would have to use the slide? That would include any, if you want to say, hey, I need a quarter or half inch always behind the drawer box, whatever that minimum space is before you can use the slide.
9 3/4 behind.
Okay, so we're going to put in 9 3/4, just wipe that out. And then I'm guessing the 12 inch, you're going to say minimum 12 3/4, so we're going to say up to 12.74 on this one. So as long as our space is in this range, a little dash and caret there says this is a range. As long as our drawer space is in this range, we can use this drawer. Is that clear for everybody? Do you have a minimum height that you need available for drawer boxes too for this? Default says cheap and a little under 11/16. What's the smallest drawer box you make?
Brian, what's the smallest one you made?
Probably 4 inches would be for the kitchen. 4/1/8, exactly what we do. But then there are pencil drawers to be smaller.
Exactly. So what's the smallest one you make?
I think most of the upper drawer probably would be 4/1/8.
What's the smallest you make? 2 1/8? I think it's 2 1/8.
2 1/8. Okay, and you need a little space underneath for clearance, and a little space above on clearance. So 2 5/8 minimum space, you think? 2 1/2. Okay, and then of course can go in any opening size, so that's fine. All right, let's save that. So we're going to go to the next one. We're going to start it out on drawer depth at 12 3/4. And up to 15.74. Okay, and you want your drawer height 2 1/2 again, right? Looks good. Save that. Next one, drawer depth 15 3/4 through 18.74. Yep, drawer height 2 1/2. All right, save that. 18 3/4 to 21.74. And then 21 is your biggest one, so 21 3/4 up through whatever you think the deepest box is you'll make. Okay, good, save that. Do you want to ever make anything greater than 26 in depth?
What's that?
You won't ever make a box greater than 26 in depth?
Well, we
Yes,
do
sometimes.
24s.
We do sometimes, but we can always, add some more.
Yeah, I mean, you can always, this is where you modify it. So if you see you're not getting that drawer side, you can always modify it. All right, go ahead and say you got that saved.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and close out. Since you made a new one here, I want to open the drawer manager and make sure you have that connection situation assigned to your drawer that you created yesterday. Oh, on the construction tab there, Rudy. See the connecting situation says undermount. Hit that ellipsis and go pick the one you just made. Yep. Apply that and then save your drawer manager. All right, go ahead and close this. We'll start a new order and draw me in a one door, one drawer base, and we'll test it a little bit here. Turn the parts back on. It needs a little work, it looks like. Let's see it from a side view. Looks like our box insertion point's off. All right, let's just modify the article. Let's change the depth. So this was a 23. Go up to the name of the article on the tree. Just uncheck that depth box. That'll ungray your depth on the upper right there.
Okay.
Let's try like, we'll say 20. Okay, go ahead and draw that up. Yeah, no, don't say changes. Okay, so that one looks better. Let's change our depth again. Let's go down to, we'll say 18 to get us a 15-inch slide. Looks good. Let's try it again. Let's change it to 15. We still got some work to do. I'm just making sure that our switches are working.
Okay.
All right, and let's try a 12 on a depth. all looks marvelous. Go back to the 23. There's a problem with that one. This should be our 21 inch, right?
Yep.
This guy's a little messed up. All right. Main data, element manager. Let's go to the connector sets and look at that 21 real quick. So that's in hardware machining. Connector sets. All right, let's hit the main connector there. Hit the ellipsis by the main connector. Ooh, that's the C. Why are you problem? Open up the characteristics for me. Actually, it looks okay. All right, let's start out with for this slide, the 21 inch slide. Well, actually, while we're doing this, let's go ahead and let's rename all of our connectors here. But what do you want to call this guy?
What do you want to call the brand?
Say it again.
No. Just Blum 21 inch.
Fine with me.
It's okay.
If that's all you're going to call it, that's fine. Just save it. This thing has this, in the characteristic, you see it has this distance slide box Y. Yeah, that one. Let's get rid of that one. I don't think we should have that.
Just exit out.
Yeah, just hit the X on it and get rid of it. All right, save that and apply it. All right, close real quick and let's refresh that article.
Yep, there it is.
That was it. All right. Element manager, let's go back to connector sets. So that was the 21 inch. We renamed the main connector. Let's do the same thing for the other four. We'll rename the connectors. Yep. Just save it and apply it back to your connector set. Not really changing anything. We're just giving it a custom name so that you guys can find your stuff and we can adjust it as we go.
This is 15.
I believe so. So the process throughout WoodCAD CAM, we're going to find something similar. We're going to rename it, call it whatever we want to call it, and modify from there. You did, okay. All right, good. Anybody not got that done yet?
What number is the 15-inch supposed to start with? What main connector are we supposed to start with before we rename it?
Okay, go back to the main connectors there. No, hit the ellipsis for me, Rudy. For the main connector. So the 15-inch, scroll up there a little bit. I believe that was the second one that's 335. Yeah, that one right there.
335. Okay, thank you.
Are we all done, or is somebody still working on it? All right.
You good? Good.
Everybody good?
Good. Everybody's good?
All right, let's go to the connectors now.
So what we do now? The connectors.
Yes, sir. Over on the left, from our structure, we're in connector sets. We want to be in connectors now.
Okay.
So we have your 5 connectors you just created. We can start with the 12-inch. Okay, looking at the characteristics, there's a drawer depth. This is the actual size of the box. What size of a drawer box do you make with this drawer slide? Is that correct?
Could be 12-inch. Is that?
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to change that drawer depth to 12 inches. Save it. Same for all of them. We're going to make it. This controls the size of the box that gets built, all the parts.
Try using full numbers. All full numbers. 12, 15, 18. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do all of them. Whatever size box you want for those. All right, so now that we saved those, let's go back to our drawing, refresh our drawing, and we're going to try the different depths again and see what we got. Okay, so let's modify the depth on the cabinet and go to the next size down and check them all. Okay, so that's looking good. We'll go back to that standard size, 23. All right, so the drawing of these slides should be pretty close to your actual ones. I mean, they're just a block. They don't really affect anything other than the way it looks. The main thing would be we need to check the machining at some point, and we'll do that when we get into the advanced course, when we get into hardware. We'll check that machining. It's probably right.
Okay.
All right. So just to recap, we set up a drawer box the way we wanted it. So it's built the way we wanted it. We created a connection situation. We gave that a custom filter. So when the program goes and looks in that folder through all those different connector sets, it grabs just our connector sets. So we always get the right ones. And then we made copies of all of the connectors or the hardware and renamed what we wanted to. Let's go back to main data and element manager and connector.
What, you broke up there a little bit.
Element manager and connectors. All right. So I'm going to draw your attention to the part list information for your slide that you've got here. Your homework is going to be to go through and change all this to what you want it to be. The article ID is typically like an ERP system number. If you guys don't have one, you can wipe that out. Purchase item ID is going to be the actual model number that you want to buy. It's going to come out and report for you, so you get the right model number. And of course, you can give a description, whatever you want to call that. We're going to do that for all 5 of these. That's going to be homework for you guys. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any questions about the drawer boxes? And Rudy, make a note when we get into the advanced, we'll want to go ahead and use the one that we have created here to create a buyout drawer box also. We'll just modify what we have for that.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions about drawer boxes?
Yeah, my drawers just don't look right. Every time sometimes I put in a deeper cabinet and a shorter drawer box will show up. I think I put some wrong information in somewhere.
All right, Brian, let's take a look. Let's make you presenter, see what you got.
Okay. I got this cabinet.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? It fits.
Yeah. I'm sure the client will be real happy with that.
Let's go to Element Manager. We want to look at your connector sets. That's what's controlling that. All right, so 21 inch. Nope, not the connectors. What I'm looking at is the drawer depth values that you have.
Okay.
See the 18 inch? That looks okay. That looks okay. 15 inch. That's good. 12 inch. Okay, and then let's see your 9 inch. Bloom tandem. All right, let me see your connection. Yep, let me see your connection situation.
Oh, you know what? I renamed this thing today, but I had a different name from yesterday. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
It does, but whatever this is, it's got to match the connection situation. Let's look at the connection situation.
Where do I look?
The connection situation over in your structure under construction principle and connection. Connections, connection situation. And you're calling it the tandem blue motion?
Yeah.
So you don't have you need to put that same filter here on additional filter 1. This is the one you're using. You want it to look for a specific set. Otherwise, it's just grabbing the first thing that comes through.
Go back out to the article.
Now, is this the connection situation you have assigned to your drawer?
I believe so. Yeah, because that was from yesterday.
All right. Go ahead and close then, and let's just redraw your cabinet.
Look at that.
Boom.
Try a 20, because that's going down to the 15 because of your space. So that should let you get the 18 now. Yeah, that looks good. I think you're good, buddy.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Back to you, Rudy. So we put it on the homework, right? Questions about the homework? All right. Let's close out the element manager, back to our drawing. Let's make sure that we have our cabinet set at 23 inches deep. So everything we set up here is default, so we have an automatic switch as our cabinet opening gets higher, gets narrower, gets wider, whatever, it just grabs the correct size drawer box and drawer slide to put in that opening. But it's just for default. It's not, you're not stuck with that. All right, so for example, we have a 23-inch deep cabinet here. It's grabbing our 21-inch slide. But it could be that we want this 23-inch deep cabinet, but we want a 15-inch slide on it. For whatever reason, we need some chase in the back. We're going to be running some wiring back there. We need a little more space. There's a couple of ways to adjust this. First of all, we're going to modify our article. And we're going to go find our drawer box over there in our tree. So it should be in the case zone, and yep, down there, drawer. Yep. Second tab. All right, so our drawer principal is coming in $, drawer type. It's our variable we have set up. You'll see that there's a parameters column to the right of that. If you click in there once, it'll highlight. There's an ellipsis. You can hit that ellipsis. So over here, we can do several things. The main thing I want you to look at is the reveals. So we can add a reveal front, back, left, right, top, bottom. What this is actually doing is this is reducing the amount of space we give the program to look at. So let's say that I want to go down to a 15-inch slide from our 21-inch slide. So I would go to the back, and we can reduce our space. We're getting a 21-inch slide, so if we reduce it by 6, we're telling the program, hey, there's 6 inches less available there for you, so go give me the correct slide for that. Go ahead and green check that and draw that back up. Okay, so we just said, hey, we've got 6 inches less space back there. I need to run some wiring or with a pipe chase or something, and I don't want to use that. The normal default slide I would get to that cabinet would do that. Okay, let's go back to modify article. We'll go back to the drawer. Yep, let's go to that parameter. We'll uncheck that back. Put it back the way it was. Okay, so you can do the same thing if you're creating, say you're creating some rollout drawers and you want to put a 1-inch spacer on either side. You can also go in and make a reveal left and right one, so it reduces that drawer box. All right, go ahead and green check that. All right. Now we're going to talk about things that we can do to our articles in the AutoCAD environment. We're not necessarily going through our data. We're not really going to modify article. We're just on the fly making some changes. Over on your WCAD TAM Manager, that's where your library is located. There are 3 tabs at the top. Typically, you're on that first tab where you're selecting things to draw in. Second tab is our Details tab. We're going to take a look at the Details tab. So the Details tab has a whole bunch of sub-buttons underneath that. So if you select that first button, that will give you a tree view, basically a list of everything that's in this particular order. Right now we just have the one cabinet. And as Rudy's showing, you can expand and kind of drill down to whatever you want to do. Second button let us select a plan position to pull up a cabinet from a plan position. Third button will let us select a specific article. Okay, so I have 50 cabinets on the job, and I want to work on one in particular. I don't know which one it is in my tree, so I want to go to select article and just pick it. Fourth button will let you pick a subassembly or a zone within the article to look at that information. Fifth button, you can select a part. Hey, I want to work on this one particular part. Sixth button will let you select an edge to the part. Hey, I want to modify this one edge, or these two edges, or 5 edges, whatever it may be. So the next button looks like a little black pyramid. That will take you back through the tree. So if I'm selected on an edge and I hit that once, it'll take me up to the part level. Hit it again, takes me up to the subassembly. Hit it again, takes me to the article. Plan position all the way back to my entire structure. It's just a step up one level. The little funnel button is a filter. It's a selection set filter. So let's say I wanted to, for whatever reason, I want to select all of the edges on this job and change them all. We have to set up my variables to do that. The two little crossed arrows, it simply refreshes whatever's in the tree. And then the last button that's grayed out are article-related modifications, or what we call the global recording. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a whole bunch of this stuff today. We're going to start out with the third button. We're going to do an article selection and pick our article. All right. So at every one of these levels, you're going to see all kinds of different information. If we're at the article, there's a plus sign, and we can drill down to parts, edges, whatever we want to. In the middle section of the WoodCAD CAM Manager are the properties for this article. So there are a number of things that you might want to change. Maybe you want to change the position number is going to be your item number. It just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you add them to the order. Maybe you want to put a comment at the article level. Hey, ship this KD, whatever. If you scroll on down there, you'll see that you can even change dimensions on the article if you want to. Don't necessarily have to open up article design. You can change dimensions right here. Okay, and you can also change the quantity. Hey, I only have one drawn, but I need to build 5 of them. I can change the quantity and the bill of material or whatever I want there. So that's properties at the article level. All the levels will have properties, and the properties could differ depending on whether you're at the article or the edge level. Whatever level you're at, you're going to get different properties. You can always make modifications right here in AutoCAD. These are one-of-a-kind modifications, not saved back to your library, just changing it on the fly. At the very bottom of the list, we have methods. And again, depending on what level you're selected on, you're going to get different methods. So we're going to look at a few of these. The first one we're going to look at is the connection scan. You activate all these methods by double-clicking. So we're going to double-click connection scan. Connection scan will pull up a list of all the different connections, hardware that we have on. We're at the cabinet level, so this will be for the whole article. So you'll see the last one on the list there is your underfloor guide. That's your drawer box. So let's say I want to go ahead and pick a different drawer box. I've got a 21-inch, but I want to get a 12-inch. So I can select that. When you select something, you'll see up there in the top, some buttons become active. So I could get rid of it. Hey, no selection. Or I can say new. If you say new, it changes in the left window. Go ahead and hit that button. It changes in the left window and it says new connector set. What happens when you hit OK, now it's going to open up your connector set and you can pick anything you want to. Let's do that. I hit OK. And let's go pick our 15-inch. So they're going to be in the underfloor guide, under blooms where you stored them. And hey, we want a 15. Now you can actually pick anything. Typically, you're going to pick the ones you have set up, right?
Oh, there it is.
Yep. Just apply that.
Right.
Okay, and this pops up and says, okay, we have a new connection. The pole is on this screen. Okay. And so you can, on the fly, switch it out that way and pick something specific. So that's the two ways you can change your drawer boxes. We're going to get our default based on all those values we put in our connector set. We can reduce the space available, so it grabs the next size that we could use based on that space, or we can just do a connection scan and go pick exactly the one we want. Okay. Is everybody clear on that? Good. Next method down is edit article. Double click that. That opens up your article designer. It's a shortcut to get to article designer for it. You can remove X out of that. Next one is a move and rotate. So hopefully we know by now that we can turn on article mode and we can just pick the cabinet and pick a point, move it wherever we want to. But there may be times you want to use this interface. It's handy if you want to move something a specific distance and you don't really have a pick point to grab. So this interface gives you a number of options. Up at the top, we got buttons for point 1 and point 2, and there are snaps below that. So we could say, hey, point 1, pick a snap, pick our snap point. Then point 2, pick another snap where we want to snap that to. Below the snaps, there is a ruler with an XYZ over it. You click that, that will activate that XYZ to the right. These are absolute XYZ coordinates, which most of the time we don't know unless we want to move it to 0, 0, 0. And we could turn it on and say, I want to go to 0, 0, 0. The next XYZ with a ruler below that, these are incremental moves in X, Y, and Z. Go ahead and turn that one on for me. So now I can put a value incrementally in X, how far do I want to move it, or Y, or Z. And you can use positive and negative numbers. We are in 3D space here, so you can move it wherever you'd like to. Do me a favor and red X out of this and give me an isometric view on that cabinet real quick. All right, let's do the move and rotate now. All right, so notice that there is a red crosshair in that bottom right corner off of Rudy's. That was his insertion point. And if we decide we're going to move, let's say we want to move 15 in X. We'll put a value of 15 in there and hit enter. Nothing's going to happen until you green check it. Go ahead and hit enter. Notice it shows a little shadow box. Hey, this is what we're going to move to. And again, you can also put negative numbers. So let's try negative 15. Hit enter. Okay, so by hitting enter after entering a value, you're always going to get a preview. This is what's going to happen. All right, you can set that back to 0. The next button down is rotation. You turn the rotation button on. This automatically goes to rotation in the Z-axis. But if you hit the button again and again, it'll cycle through X and Y. So you can actually rotate on all 3 axes. And again, just like with the incremental moves, you can put a value and hit enter, and you'll get a preview. Okay, this is what we're doing. Okay. Notice it's working off of that crosshair. That's the pivot point for it. Maybe. Be kind of hard to install, but yeah, okay. All right. That's just another way to move and rotate things. It does give you the rotation that's handy in here, and sometimes it's handy to do an incremental move rather than using the article mode and just picking a couple of points. Sometimes you don't have those points. You're not sure. You know where you want it to go, but you don't have a point to pick. So, hey, I know I'm going to move it 12¼ inches to the right. So, incremental 12¼ All right, you can exit out of that. Next, we're going to go to part selection, and we're going to.
There's
There was a
one
question?
1/4 inch radius.
What? Hello?
So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually, here in AutoCAD, we're going to take and cut a hole through both side panels of this cabinet. This will work with any part,
Half-inch diameter. It's 1/4 inch radius.
any article that you've got, any part you've got drawn in your drawing, you can do this with. So I want to cut let's say we want to cut a grommet hole down at the bottom back corner of the left and the right side panel. We're going to put some fans in there because they're going to have a CPU in this. So what you want to do is you want to change your view so that you're looking flat on the part you want to adjust. So give me a left or right view. Now we need to draw polylines, and so this is a bit problematic. Notice that your UCS icon says YZ. You can only draw polylines in XY. So we need to change our UCS. So easy way is just type UCS. Of course, there are some buttons for that. You just type UCS at the command line, hit enter. You get lots of options for this. The one we want is view. Okay, we want to change our user coordinate system to whatever our view is. So it doesn't matter what kind of an angle your part's on, top, bottom, at a 45. You change your view and look at it flat on, and you can make your UCS match that view. And now we have an XY, so we can draw a polygon in this. So just go ahead and draw me a circle for I don't know, we'll say it's a 4-inch diameter. Just stick it over there so it looks like it's in the right spot where you want to put it through your cabinet. Yeah, that looks fine. The one thing you have to remember is you change your user coordinate system, so we want to change it back to world coordinate system. So UCS again, and so it's world or type W. All right, give me an isometric view again there, Rudy. Okay, well, it just so happened Rudy got his right on that plane. That's not always going to happen for you. Sometimes you'll be at 0, 0, 0. Hey, you might have drawn this a mile away from the parts. It doesn't matter as long as when you're looking flat on that part, your machining is where you want it in relation to that part. You're going to get what you want. All right, we're going to go to the part selection. That's the 5th button on the row up there. And we're going to select both side panels. We're going to cut this hole in both side panels at the same time. So that shows up in your list. You can see the properties for the side panels there. By the way, under dimensions, you'll see a cut size and a finish size. If you've got edge banding applied, you'll see the cut size versus the finish size. Okay, so our cut size is a little smaller than our finish size. And we have methods. Again, we're at the part level. So we have a connection scan here also. You can do a connection scan just for these parts. Just like we did for the article, we'll only see connections applied to the parts. But we're going to custom holes. So that's going to be Transfer AutoCAD Elements. There's a folder for that. Open that up. We have 4 options. We can transfer our AutoCAD elements as an inner contour, typically a cutout like we're going to do. We can do a circle as a pocket. Hey, I'm not going to route all the way through. I'm going to cut the circle and clean out the inside. Rectangle as a pocket, or circle as drilling. You could add a drill operation if you drew a circle the diameter of your drill bit, and you can apply it that way. Just a free drill. But I would say by and large, inner contour is what this is mostly used for. So we're going to look at that one. So we're just going to double click as inner contour. That changes your WoodCAD Cam Manager to gray, and says select the AutoCAD element to generate the cutout. We're going to pick the circle that we drew and hit enter. Okay, and you'll notice in the drawing it automatically tries to start cutting those holes through the side panel. So we have properties that we can play with. Parameters, we can do a through hole, or we can do a fixed depth. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way through. If you select fixed depth, then it uses the value in fixed depth. Tool compensation, don't really have to worry about that. We'll be dealing with that in the CAM. Profile name. This is where we could assign our tool. We're going to have a default for PRF00 and standard, but we can also use one of our tool profiles. Remember, we made the tool profile yesterday or the day before. We could go pick a specific tool if we don't want to use our default that we have for cutouts, and then we use something else. Tool rotation, again, is not critical. We're going to deal with that in the CAM. Face of the part. Do we want to cut it on the top, or do we want to cut it on the bottom? 99.9% of the time, we're going to be coming from the top. Thinking about a nested base machine or a point-to-point, I want to route this off the top of the part. Okay. And then once we're done, we're going to green check that. And you see it cuts that hole, both of the side panels at the same time. Okay, so this will work for any polyline shape that you draw. Any questions about that? Nope, got it?
Yep.
All right, good. All right, let's go ahead and let's try something else here. Let's go ahead and back to the article level. We'll select the article. Oh, Details tab, that globe tab, and that's the third button, article selection. First button just gives you, here's everything in the drawing. Third button, hey, I want to pick a particular article to work on. Just hit enter when you're done selecting. All right. We're going to go down to methods, and we're going to do free construction. You guys probably saw most of these commands from Part Designer when you did the 101 session. They're also available right here. And I want to do some free construction to my article. Let's try part to edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a part based on the top edge of the left panel. So just double click it to activate it. Select the top edge of the left side. Just hit enter. Okay, and this brings up our part to edge menu. All the values in here are whatever was used the last time on this database. So it's probably done a metric ahead of time. All right, so first of all, face of the part. We're going to orient our part based on the top or based on the bottom of our part. For a side panel, the top is the outside, the bottom is the inside. So we're gonna go with the top. It's gonna make a panel sticking out from the side there. We can pick a part type. Just a category basically. Is it a side, panel, top, whatever it is. And we'll just say this one is just pick panel will be fine. Okay, part definition. Again, it just goes with whatever you have. If you select that row, part definition, there's an ellipsis to the right. Drop down recently used items. Ellipsis takes me to element manager, and now I can pick any part definition that I want. We're going to go down toward the bottom of the list and pick standard. And of course, we could create a part definition on the fly, right? Just rename something, pick material, what are we going to do with it? You always have the ability to create stuff on the fly. We're going to pick standard and hit apply. That's our part definition. Okay. Notice that the part thickness is based on the part definition and the material that's assigned to it. It automatically grabs the material assigned to that part definition. If you wanted, you could use a part definition and then override the material by selecting a different core material here. There's an ellipsis next to that. Okay. Or you can grab something that you've used previously in your drop-down. Okay. You want to go pick one of your materials there, Rudy? So this is overriding what's assigned to the part definition. All right, next trim. Y'all remember trims? How do we want to trim this part to that edge? Do we want to undefined, miter, short, long? Let's say short. Okay. Yeah, short's fine. If you're wondering why Rudy's part is sticking across the top of his cabinet, it's because of the value in the offset. You've got a minus 19 in the offset. Change that to 0. Okay, so now that's right on the face of the panel. The panel is really long because of his part height is set to 725. Let's make it 24. Again, it just brings in the last values that were used when this was used. So now we have a part on the face, 24 inches. We can do an angle. You'll notice there's a graphic up here for all these also. So we could cut an angle on it, say, hey, we want this to be at 22.5 or negative 45, whatever you want to do. It'll rotate the part that way. We'll go ahead and leave it at 0 for now. All right, inset. This will move it basically up and down on the part. Not offset, inset. So right now it's sitting right on the edge. It's actually above, sitting above the end panel. This is 5/8 material. If you wanted it to be flush with that top edge, then we could put, again, positive and negative numbers. We could go 5/8 here, minus 5/8. I think minus 5/8 is going to raise it up higher. And that should flush it out there. You know, if you wanted it to be up higher, hey, I want it to sit up 6 inches, so I can do 6 and make it sit up higher. We're really just generating the part based on the length and location of this edge. So everything applies to that edge that we selected. Just have it wherever you want it. All right. And of course, we got our part height of 24, front offset. So the front offset would move that front edge of the part and either make it longer or shorter. If we use a positive number, it makes it longer than the edge at the front. If we use a negative number, it makes it shorter than the edge at the front. Remember the part, this is part to edge, so we're generating the part based on the edge that we selected. So in relation to that edge, what do we want to do with it? Protrusion back, same thing. Positive will make it stick out past the back of the edge. Negative brings it in shorter. All right. Part thickness. Part thickness is always going to grab your material thickness, which is typically what you want. I want to use that material. But if you were just making this for drawing purposes, you weren't really trying to create a part you're going to cut, you could override that. And then there's a value that says keep thickness. Keep thickness no means I want to use the thickness from the part, the material I've got selected. Keep thickness yes means I want to use whatever override I put. Again, that would just be for drawing purposes. Notice there's a yellow question mark here. So you can always get specific help about this particular interface anytime you see that yellow question mark. And when you're all done, just green check that.
Green check?
Yes, sir. Go ahead and green check it. And so there we've generated a part based on an edge that we selected. You guys probably played with this in the 101 class, right?
Yeah. The edge.
Yeah, in that case, you were working in Part Designer, but you have all those available here at the article level also. You see there's your contour part from polyline, all that kind of stuff. All those commands are on your Part Designer. But you can actually associate them with this particular article this way.
Nice.
All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. You guys use the restroom, get you a drink, stretch your legs. We'll come back and we'll finish up session 4 and we'll move on to session 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like this. Really like
You guys let me know when you're ready.
You good? Great. Steve, you good? Good. Okay. Hey, Larry, we're back.
Okay. So we're going to take a look at a little thing called 3D Edit now. So if you would, just go ahead, that part that we created that's hanging out there, if you just select that with your mouse, so it turns to grips on. Okay, and then right click on it. You'll have a 3D workings on. Okay, so that turns the part red. There's a blue rectangle that shows up in the middle of the part, and if it has a grained material assigned, it'll show grain direction, which this one does. If there's no grain material, if it's just a solid, you don't have the grain box checked on your material, then that just will be empty. All right, so I'm going to have you go out with 3D workings on. I'm going to have you pick that left edge of that part that's sticking out there. Just select it with your mouse. You see that that lights up 4 grips. So the ones in the corner, if you select one of them and grab it, you can pull the edge, and basically you're putting an angle on the part. Don't select the point, just grab it and move it so you can see, then escape out. Nope, on the corners, on the corners. Okay, so you're moving the edge, and you can create an angled part that way. You can type in a dimension or whatever. Go ahead and escape out of that. There's also a little arrow on the corner. If you grab that one, now you're putting a bevel on the edge. You can bevel it either direction you want to. Probably wouldn't bevel it that far, but you could. All right, escape out of that. And then the last one looks like a little lollipop. That one will actually move the edge, essentially adjusting the size of the part. You can make it bigger or smaller as needed.
What's that, Ray? I can't hear you. Right click on the part, select it, select the part, right click, and then 3D, yeah. What you did, man? I don't know. Select it, look, select it. I don't know. Larry Ray's having some problem.
Ray's having a problem?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it. We'll make you present, Ray. Can you show me your screen?
Won't turn red.
So it won't turn red.
Yeah, click on it again. And when you right click, it won't turn red. All right, select it again. Go up to the part designer menu with it selected. The part designer tab at the top. All the way at the top, the tabs. Part designer. There in the middle, there's a bunch of them. You see the 3D workings on. There's a 3D draft, 3D workings on. Yep. I'm going to say, Ray, go ahead and save your order. Give it a name. Shut down your WCAD camera and restart it.
Okay, you got it now.
Beautiful. Back to you, Rudy. All right, so this is called the 3D edit. This will let you edit any part you've got drawn solid. You can edit it like this. And really, it's just on the edges. You get those 4 grips, so you can put angles on them, bevels, or change the size by dragging the lollipop one way or the other. When you're done, just right-click again on the part and 3D workings off. Okay. These are one-of-a-kind changes, by the way, guys. It doesn't affect the part definition, doesn't affect any of your data that you've got stored in the element manager. Just for this one part, I'm going to make this change. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and go to article selection. That's the 3rd button there on your details tab. I'm going to pick this article. Okay. When you're on article selection, you'll see that the last button on the row there becomes active. It's not grayed out anymore. It's only active when you have the article selected. This is article-related modifications. Go ahead and hit that. This will show you a list of everything that you've modified in the AutoCAD environment. So we did a connection scan, we changed the drawer, we transferred the AutoCAD element on both of the sides, and we did the part to edge. Okay. So you can choose to select any of those, and that will, right now the delete button in the upper left is grayed out. If you select one, let's say that part to edge, we want to get rid of that for whatever reason, we can select that. Or we can select one of the cutouts and delete it, delete that modification. Yes? Okay, go ahead and green check that. So that will update the product with those modifications deleted. All right, now Ray still has the one modification with the drawer being shorter, and he's got the cutout in the left side panel. Now we're not going to do this because this would overwrite your library, but you can do this. Let's say that we decided that this article we've created, we've got saved in our library, but you know what? We always want to have this connection scan, and we always want to have this cutout in the side panel. So every time I grab this cabinet, I always get that stuff on there. Okay. So then we would hit that article-related modifications, that last button. We would select the little globe button. So this would transfer the modifications into the global recording. What that means is it's going to take these 2 modifications and transfer it to that library item. Okay, so this is stuff we did in AutoCAD, but we could save it back to our library, so every time we brought this in, that would be there.
Is it possible to save this?
Yeah.
Is it possible to save these changes as a new article or new cabinet?
Yeah. Yeah, typically, if I knew I were going to do this ahead of time, I would just save it as a new article, and then I can make my modifications. I'll say, well, we can go ahead and save it and overwrite the one door. That's fine. Go ahead and hit that globe. We'll do it. Okay, so this is telling us this is going to replace the global recording for our base unit, one door, one drawer. Yep, that's what we want to do. Okay, and green check it. Okay. Now if we go back to our library, we get that one door, one drawer, and draw another one in. Oh, not Element Manager. I'm going to go to our library. WoodCAD CAM Manager. First tab. We're on the second tab, which is the Details tab. We want to go to the Insert tab. Rudy, that's that document container on the left side there. Yep. So we're going to draw in that one drawer. We just overwrote it. Draw another one in. Okay, so now that one drawer always has those modifications. Or whatever cabinet, whatever we've saved it as. Okay, it was something we did in AutoCAD, but we always wanted to have it. Okay, Larry, so I've inadvertently overwritten a library article that I didn't want to do that to. Like this one, right?
Yep.
Details tab. Yep. Article selection, third button. And pick either one of them. Doesn't matter. Okay, so our article-related modifications, that last button comes up because we're at the article level. Okay, so now we can just pick those, pick that connection scan, delete it. Yep, delete it. Okay, go ahead and green check. Okay, so it also recognized we had another cabinet that was using them, so include. All right. So you can always get rid of it. Go ahead and go back to the article-related modifiers. So we can see the third one, they're out of there. So how do we fix it back? Modify article on that cabinet we just changed. Save it back to our library and overwrite it. Yeah, we don't have any modifiers. We've gotten rid of them, so there's nothing to record back. So we're just going to do our standard modify article, or you can use edit article off your methods down there. Double click edit article. And hit the save button in the upper left. Yep, overwrite it. Green check. All right. So you can always get rid of it. If you happen to inadvertently overwrite one, you can always get rid of it and save it back. Okay. Not a problem. Typically, if this was something I knew I was going to do, hey, I'm going to put a cabinet in, and I'm going to cut this hole in it, and I always want to have this for customer XYZ. They always buy this with a pan. So I would, save that initially as a specific name just for that customer, and then cut my hole and then record that back to the library.
Okay.
All right, that makes sense?
Yep.
All right. Any questions about what we covered today? If you look at your syllabus, session 4, I was just wrapping that up from yesterday. Any questions about that? So secondary homework, I would recommend that all of you take the time to play with all of the methods at all the levels, article, part, and edge. See what you can do when you're in there. And these are all one-of-a-kind AutoCAD-based type stuff, just for this one week. Unless, of course, you record it back to your library. Anybody? Questions? Okay, we're all good? All right, Rudy, you're okay signing off on session 4? We'll go on to session 5?
Yeah. Yep, that's fine.
All right, session 5, we're going to set up variables for your company. So we're going to go to main data, element manager. And then from our structure, general rules and variables. Okay, so this is going to get us to all of our default variables. And these variables are already pre-applied wherever they're going to be used in our articles and element manager. But what we want to do is go ahead and set our default. So we're going to start off with job order setup, material settings. I'm in the middle now, Rudy, looking at the variables. Case materials and case parts. I always like to start out with a variable that we call map carcass. So this variable isn't actually on any parts or construction principles. This is just a, if you will, a parent variable that we assign to other variables. What it allows us to do is to set our basic material. This is typically what we build a box out of. And then if we need to change that order by order, we can change that one variable with all those parts. So my question is, if you get to decide what does your company build a box out of? What's the material? Pretty, do you know?
Hello? Larry, you asked me a question?
What's that?
Did you ask a question? Or?
Yeah, my question is, if you get to decide what do you build your cabinets out of, what's the base material that you typically use, or what do you use the most of?
3/4 plume apply.
Okay, so we're going to hit the ellipsis there next to the default value. This is a 3/4 material, so just like everywhere else, we're going to find something similar, rename it, and modify it. What do you want to call this material?
Yeah, 3/4 plume apply. That's good.
Okay, save that. That adds it to your list. And you'll probably want to drag it up into one of your folders that you made, yeah. All right, what's the thickness of this material? Is it actually 3/4?
Yeah, 3/4.
Okay. Description, let's give it a general description there. Probably get rid of that supplier EMOS. Yeah. Material category. Right. Does this have a grain direction to it?
No, no grain. It's like an MDF finish on base.
Okay. We probably have that MDF color principle.
What's that? Do you want to use the MDF?
Is that what it looks like, MDF?
Yeah, it looks like MDF.
All right, so hit that ellipsis there. Let's try maybe in unicolor or MDF. Well. Well, that did not have a material assigned to it. Let me look at that real quick on my end here. Pretty sure I've got a raw MDF set up. All right, so over here on the right where it says material, please select. Drop that box down.
What's that? I didn't hear that clearly.
Over here on the right, under material where it says please select, there's a drop down box. Hit that drop down.
Select. Right. Okay.
So there's a color called W_MDF00 that should work.
V_. Well, I.
Oh, you don't have it.
No.
Interesting. All right, we'll fix that. I think I'm going to send you my whole materials folder as a matter of fact. I got quite a bit more than you do. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so that file is good in there. I'm just going to email you the one material for now, and then I'll send you a link for the rest of them.
Yeah.
All right, for now, Rudy, just go ahead and apply that. It'll show up in your email here in a minute, and then we can go adjust it. All right, go ahead and save that. So this is going to be our map carcass. And now we want to assign map carcass to the rest of our variables. So let's start with map base side. That's about 4 up from that.
Our base side.
So that'll be our base side, whatever is assigned to our carcass. Right?
No material.
Don't pick the material. Leave it to the variable map carcass. That way you can just go change map carcass. All these other ones will update automatically.
Okay. All right, I guess.
Otherwise you got to change a whole bunch of variables. Let's just change one, make it easy.
Okay, I see. Oh, yeah.
Map base top should be the same. Bottom. Okay. What about for a finished image? What do you use for that?
Well, normally if there's a plume of fly, it's painted, so we could use the same material.
Okay, so that would be the norm for you. So we'll make that matte carcass also. All right, if it's not in there, then hit the ellipsis. This is going to be in your variables in the far left there. Let's just double click to assign it. Next one, matte HTV. So these are going to be like fixed shelves, adjustable shelves. Matte carcass fill.
Yep.
What about nailers? Do you build your cases with nailers? Be like a inset, grab inset data back with the nailers on the back of it.
Yep.
What do you make those out of?
Normally scrap in the shop, but we could use the plume here also.
It's up to you. We can make a scrap material if that's what you want, or we can use matte carcass. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's use the same matte carcass.
Okay, but it's fine. All right, tall cabinet top, same thing. What about upper bottom? So right now it's set to the finish stand, which is also the carcass.
This one. So we don't need to change it.
You can make it say matte carcass also. This is for your company, so it's whatever you guys want to do. The whole idea behind this is to make it easy to switch material. So, you know, project comes along and they want maple melamine. All I got to do is change matte carcass and everything will be maple melamine.
Yeah.
Okay, upper side. And upper top should be the same. All right, you can close the case parts folder. Let's go to case parts open. It'd be to your advantage to close that folder right above it, case parts.
See that and then get that early.
Yeah, close the folder, case parts. There you go. Now case parts open. So we have a Mac carcass open. So this would be for any cabinets that don't get doors and drawers. So finished interior, I guess. What do you use for that? It's the same. Okay.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of these will be Mac carcass open.
Yep.
Let's make them all equal to Mac carcass open rather than just Mac carcass.
Mac carcass open.
Yeah, that way if you get a project where they want cabinets with doors and drawers to be one material and open cabinets to be a different material, it's easy to differentiate.
Okay.
Nope, that's a circular reference. You made it equal to itself. It'll never work. Leave it at Mac carcass.
Okay.
All right, go back to your finish end open again. Let me see that one. Mac carcass open. And what do you have on Mac carcass open? Mac carcass. Okay, that's fine. That'll work. All right, you can close case parts open. Let's go to back panels. Okay, for a base cabinet, or probably a tall cabinet too, what do you make the back out of?
1/2 inch plumaply.
Ellipsis, let's go make it. What about an back from open cabinet? Same thing?
Yep.
All right. Matt, tick back is actually not used anywhere. It's just an available variable if you want to use it for something. Maybe you've got some cabinets to do the 3/4 inch back or something. It's not really applied to anything, but it is there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we can close the back panel. Let's go to drawer parts. Oh, go back to Element Manager. Just close the folder for back panel materials. There you go. Drawer parts, I believe we already said.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. Go back to that matte drawer front back. Maple ply, right?
Yeah.
All right, you can close case materials and drawer parts. Good. Front material. Slab doors. What do you have doors with?
Use Ranger board, 3/4 Ranger board, standard. In most cases.
3/4 inch. I heard you say 3/4 inch what?
Ranger board.
Okay, hit your ellipsis, go create it. Never heard of that. What is it exactly?
It's like MDF, but more dense. It cuts CNCs better.
Okay, so I would say go up to your Eplet materials there. Maybe start with that one of those, whatever you want.
Really, shouldn't we change the category to MDF?
Say it again.
So
I wonder if we should change category to MDF on the Ranger board.
oh yeah.
Remember, this is just used for the hatch pattern when you do a cross section.
Okay.
Do you put any edge banding on that?
It's not always. Sometimes.
So would you say most of the time you don't, or most of the time you do? I mean, these are just our defaults. So we can
Yeah.
them on every order.
Yeah. Most of the time we don't.
Okay, so that variable right above that EDG door. So we want to set this to PRF 00. PRF 00 is the way it's treatment. Okay. We'll move on down to toe kick valence material. What do you do for toe kicks? Ladder style?
Is that right? Yes.
Tell me how you do toe kicks.
We normally do a lot of style. Depends on the job. Some are painted, some are not. Some are solid wood.
Okay, what would you say you do the most of it?
Since we're setting up a painted cabinet, we should do painted. I'm thinking.
So what's that material?
Plume apply also.
Make it so, Captain.
I believe Turkish should be 3/4 maple because you don't want to have
Maple?
to apply on the floor, so it doesn't suck the moisture. Yeah.
Alright, so let's do maple then.
So it looks like you need to make one.
Yeah.
Is it maple or mapley? Save it, add it to your list. Excuse me. By the way, I sent you guys a link to download all the material drawings.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah, it's like 31 meg. I couldn't email it. Just a download link. When I get the download started, when it gets done, I'll tell you where to put it.
Okay. Download them.
All right. So toe kick skin, if you wanted to, some people send like a 1/4 inch MDF with one or melamine or veneer or something on it, so you could use that if you want to choose for that. Don't know if you do it or not.
We don't. I don't think we ever did that. That's just something new.
I'm
The
thoroughly
only
using
time
it.
we use that, the only
Yeah,
time we use that is if we put like a stainless steel, something like that, on the face of the kick.
Gotcha. Yeah, this isn't actually used anywhere. It's one of those that's available to be used if you wanted to. All right. So we'll go on to edge band settings.
What's that?
Move on to the edge band settings.
Yeah.
Closed cases. So we have 3 basic edge bands set up. The EXA, this would be the exterior of your boxes. Can you put edge banding there or no?
Yes.
You do the most of.
Maple edge tape. What thickness, Steve?
How thick is it?
What thickness? 16? 32nd? Okay, 32nd of maple edge tape.
Okay. How thick is the edge tape?
2 seconds.
Half mil, 1 mil.
1 mil.
All right. Hit that ellipsis there. Go look in frameless edge bending. Yeah, PVC. Is it a wood tape or is it a PVC?
Yeah, wood tape.
Look in the VNR then.
VNR.
1 mil. And you can rename one of these to maple.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call it. And did you tell me that you guys pre-mill the edge bending?
You pre-mill on the edge bander.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's make sure that we to adjust your. Well, we've got to set it. We've got the thickness set at exactly 1 mil. You can make it whatever you want to for thickness. That's the height. That's how tall the edge tape is. All right, and then how much does the knife leave when it cuts off on each end?
I think it cuts off clean. Let me just find out.
Over edge point. Yes.
Just right up. Yeah, Larry, cuts it off clean. You don't need to cut that off.
So it leaves 3 inches on each end.
Say again?
It leaves 3 inches on each end.
Oh, it cuts it clean, right to the edge.
So when you run it through the edge bander, it puts the tape on, the knife cuts it right at the edge.
Yep.
All right, 0 then.
Yeah.
That's a home mag.
And additional offset on core material. This is your pre-mill value.
Check that.
So if you check that, then you won't get any pre-mill.
Okay. All right. I got it.
Yep. The one above that is how much do you want to pre-mill? additional offset on core value is how much you want to pre-mill.
Leave that as 0.
So you don't pre-mill?
No, we don't pre-mill unless it's more than an 8-inch thick material. We have to add back. Anything less than 8, the edge bonder will take it off.
Okay, I'm confused. So you do pre-mill?
Okay. I do pre-mill if it's thick solid edge. We need to add anything bigger than 1/8 of an inch thick.
And it will pre-mill just for solid edge. So for this wood tape, you don't pre-mill.
For the wood tape, no.
Okay, perfect. All right, save that and apply. All right, the next one, case EXB. This is only used on the bottom edge of upper sides. Is it the same material, same wood tape?
Yeah, same wood tape.
EDG case FX. This is for semi-exposed. So this would be shells, thick shells, adjustable shells, drawer boxes.
Okay. We'll use the same.
Okay. All right, the next two folders are really the part definition for all the parts. They're already preset, so you shouldn't really have to mess with those any at all. Let's go on down to number 15, construction settings. And joint method. All right, tell me how you put the cabinets together. Dowel, dado, screw,
Dowels.
dowels.
Yep. 8mm dowels.
Okay. These should all be set that way. Let's just check them. Let me see them. That's fine. Bottom open. Yep. All the defaults are set for dowel. We can go on down to dado settings. I don't think there's anything to change here.
Go where?
Next folder down is dado settings.
Okay.
So when you put the backs in the cabinet, how do you put the backs in? Are you
Plant on back and
I thought you said you use nailers.
We use nailers sometimes, not all the time.
Okay, so normally it's overlay back.
No, normally it's a full plant on back.
Okay. So joint method.
Where is it? I'm lost.
It's up under construction settings, 151 joint method. Yeah, those were all good. When you use the nailers, then what are you doing? Dado in the back end?
You know, it'll be attached onto the back between the sides.
Attached how?
Been unscrewed, I think.
Okay. I can probably leave this alone then. Let's go to toolkit configuration.
I didn't get that. What you said?
We can probably leave this one alone then. But, you can close joint method. Let's go to toe kick configuration.
Okay.
All right, BU design parameter. Going to hit the ellipsis there. And I want to pick BU best leg. So this was set up for ladder style bases, or you could use adjustable feet also, that type of construction. I'm going to apply that. BU height calc. Go back to the design parameters. So you didn't hit the ellipsis. I want BU US leg. Next one down. In the middle there. There you go. Apply that one. All right, good. BU height calc. So this one, we're just going to get rid of the toe kick height and keep the BU height.
Keep the brackets. So.
It doesn't matter. You can keep them or get rid of them. The way it'll work. Go to legs. So as long as this says no legs, you'll be using a ladder style base. If you wanted to use adjustable feet, you can change this to legs at the order level. Let's go to toe kick back set. Okay. Back set, left, rear, and right. Those are set to 0, so they're going to be article specific. You can adjust those as you go. Toe kick height. What's your typical toe kick height?
4 inch.
All right, good. So we're done with that. You can close up toe kick configuration. Let's look at back panels. Back set. So you don't use nailers. So it's plants on for bases, tall cabinets, and upper cabinets, right?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and set this to 0. Okay. CP back. Hit the ellipsis there. We're going to go with CP, construction principle, BP, back panel, full overlay in the middle there. Yep, apply that. Okay. Open back, same thing. Go ahead and hit the ellipsis there on that. All right, we're going to pick the full overlay. We're going to make a new one here. Let's go ahead and in the name at the top there, let's add the word open at the end. Okay, and definition, open up definition. Yep, you can say that. Open up definition, part definition. And hit the ellipsis. Let's pick the one right above the one that's selected there in the middle.
Open.
Yep, apply that. Apply that all the way back. CP upper back. This will be that full overlay. Upper back open will be the full overlay open. All right, nailers. Open that up. So when you do nailers, how many nailers and how are they attached?
Maybe what I'm calling nailers, it's probably not the definition. I'm thinking more like the French cleat on the back of the cabinet. That's what I'm calling nailers.
Okay, and so would you do that with faces, talls, and uppers?
Most times fall on uppers, or uppers where you need to hang a cabinet onto a wall.
Okay, and so when you do talls and uppers, you just do the one top cleat, or do you do two on the uppers and then three on the talls?
Yeah, two on the uppers and probably three on the talls.
All right, so go ahead and hit the ellipsis here. And I'm going to hit the ellipsis next to the, let's see here. No, let's just pick the one at the bottom, CP nailer, no dowel. Very
So,
bottom, yeah.
No dowel?
Yeah, that's two with no dowel. Apply that. All right, CP back panel, nailer, tone. Hit the ellipsis. We'll pick the 3 times no dowels. Apply that. All right, French cleat notches. Yeah, hit the arrow, open that up. Nope, not that. Yeah, French cleat notches is a folder. Open the folder.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. All right, tall notch depth. So how do you route that in?
You do a mitre. Full notch depth.
Yeah, so you've got a start point on the height, you have a length, and you have a depth of the notch. How deep is the notch on the side panels?
3/4.
I guess so. All right, tall notch distance from the top. How far off the top of the end do you start the notch?
And that's distance from. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the input is yet. Distance
no
from
worries.
top is what? The top of the cabinet or what?
So you're going to be putting a notch on the back side of the upper tool sides. How far do you come down to start that notch? Does it start at the very top of the tool, or does it come down a distance and then start?
It's supposed to come down a distance, but
Not sure what it is.
Not sure. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
We
We can
use 3 inches. 3 inches down.
Okay, we can start with that. You can always change it right here. So.
Yeah.
And then you know how long the notch is.
Well, the width of the cabinet. Yeah, I'm not sure what these variables represent to build a notch. I'm not sure.
Okay. So go ahead and conclude your own manager. Give me keyboard and mouse, and I'll give you a little tool.
Okay.
Oh, you got your mouse wheel backwards. No wonder I can't make it work.
Yes, reverse. Sorry about that.
All right. So if this was the back corner, one of those in panels laying down, you said you come down 3 inches. The depth is 3/4. This is the length.
Okay.
So we'll have that for tall and for uppers, and it's going to be different.
So that sketch represents the side of the cabinet.
Yep, this would be the back edge of the cabinet.
Yeah.
If I took and laid it down left to right, this is the back top edge right here.
Yeah. Okay. We don't really notch the back or the side like that.
Okay, so what do? You said you do French cleats.
We attach it right onto the back of the cabinet. Back
Oh,
of the part.
so it's an add-on. Okay.
Yeah, it's an add-on, not part of the actual box.
So how do you, at a finished end, how do you cover up the cleat? Do you just do a scribe, extend the end panel?
Yeah, just extend the finished end with a scribe, and the installers will stop the French cleat short.
Okay, cool. Got it now.
Okay.
All right, these values are all going to be set to 0, then we're not doing a knot.
Okay.
All right, so that's going to be it for today. We'll finish this up in the session tomorrow. That'll be the rest of session 5, and we'll also do session 1. So You guys got a lot of homework. Remember, you got to finish up your drawings, your 2D drawings. If you haven't already, we're going to cover that tomorrow.
Okay.
And then you're going to put the data in on the connector for your draw slide too.
Okay.
Right? And Rudy, if you would, sign off on section 4 and send that over to me.
So, will do.
All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.